Good evening and welcome to live video on Facebook and Instagram. My name's Dante St. James. We'll get this underway and show you a bit more about how you can use these fantastic tools from Facebook and Instagram to be able to connect more with your customers, more with your audience, and to make new fans for your business and for whatever purpose you're trying to build for right now. My name, as I said, is Dante St. James. I'm a community trainer with Facebook Australia and New Zealand, as well as a lead trainer with the Facebook Blueprint. I've been certified across a number of their platforms. In fact, all of them now. I've got my Infinity Stones that are to do with the Facebook trainer community. So I'm really glad to be able to bring these through the ASBAS Digital Solutions Program. Now, the ASBAS Digital Solutions Program is delivered by Business Station in Western Australia and across Australia in conjunction with Regional Development Australia, Brisbane in Queensland, and Treaty Business Consulting in the Northern Territory. I'll have plenty of time for some questions along the way, so please do ask them if you wish to. I may just turn off my video because I know that I need to have a little bit more screen space. I'm not working on my normal office environment at the moment, so things are just a little bit more difficult to work through, but I believe we will get there. Before we get started, I'd like to share a little bit about, I guess, my journey through all of this and my journey through, I guess, the small business part of what we're doing. And I'll just turn back on my video for this bit and stop the sharing to basically share with you, I am a small business owner as well. Whilst I do have some work with Facebook Australia, it's as a contractor as part of my business Clickstarter, which is a digital marketing agency based in Darwin in the Northern Territory. Right now, though, I'm in the Gold Coast in Queensland, visiting family and doing some work with some clients here. I do travel quite a lot, quite a digital nomad who gets around quite a lot actually around Australia, even in these COVID times. Thankfully, I haven't been caught too badly in other states where I've been in lockdown or quarantine situations. So thankfully, the odds have been very much in my favor. Will they continue to be that way? Well, who knows? It might be very, very different this time next week. What we're going to cover this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are right now, is what is Instagram Live and a little look at Facebook Live too, because you probably didn't realize, but the live platforms between Instagram and Facebook are almost identical to each other. We're going to look at how to engage with your audience in real time using live video on Instagram as well. And we're going to show you how to create a plan for interactive live sessions on both Facebook and Instagram Live. The advantage about these live video platforms is basically it allows you to interact with customers in the way that you really want to. And often that ability to be able to interact with people face to face, live and in real time helps people to feel more connected to both yourself, your products and your services. So you can connect with the audience, you can answer questions along the way, you can show off new products and even present your business's message to a very engaged, very live and very much their audience. It's not just sort of, stuck to your local area. Your audience could be pretty much anywhere around the world. And when you go online to broadcast your videos in real time, you broadcast your live video on Instagram or on Facebook, either which one is going to work for you. Your followers may then get some notification based on their settings. So if your followers are generally quite well engaged with what you do already, once you send out a notification, once you send a schedule a live event or a live video event, or if you decide that you're going to go live right now, it does send out a notification and most of your followers will see that notification. And that has been the key, I guess, to the popularity of live video on Facebook and on Instagram, is that you've been actually able to get that kind of message out straight away to them, and it's been quite highly engaged. People like live video. They may not be able to watch the whole live video with you, but they do manage to be able to be sort of see the live video and interact with that live video as it's happening. And because that notification goes out to more people, there's much more of a chance that people are going to see that. Now, you can, due to privacy controls, reduce that notification down. So not everyone might receive that notification, but the majority of your followers who haven't elected to not see your notifications of live video, they'll see it. Now, people can tap on your profile picture from a story tray, or they click. So this is very similar to Facebook. So they can click on the notification up in the top right hand corner of the Facebook's desktop app, but on the mobile app, it's very similar to Instagram. So I'm just going to concentrate on Instagram for now, because the nuts and bolts of getting started with a video on Instagram and Facebook are much the same. So people can tap on your profile picture from the story tray that's here on Instagram, and they're able to see your live video and join it directly from your profile. So once people are clicking on your video, they may share it with other people they may want to share it with. They can leave comments along the way. They can leave likes and reactions on there on Facebook, so they can react however they like. That shows up to you as the host. You'll see all those notifications coming up of people leaving comments and likes. And you can even donate money as a watcher of these if you're raising money for a cause. And some of the more popular ones out there, from Nas Daily, who might do a live event, or some of the very big influencers, can use their influence and reach to turn their whole live feed into an opportunity for them to raise money for causes that they believe in. Now, people can tap your profile picture from the story tray, or click to join that live video, or when you go live regularly, you can stay connected with your followers. So once you get this pattern in place of going live, it really does allow you to bring new ideas to your list, to your viewers, bring new features, new products, new services. And if you're not necessarily in the business of producing products and services, they may be just enjoying the opportunity to get to know you. So you can try these different ways to engage your viewers when you go online. So you can try bringing your community together when you go live by having employees share their talents with the community. So you can, their talents or your talents or what it is you do, that helps people stay connected to your business and what it is your business does. For instance, the example here from Hair Day is that they are very much about haircuts, hair colors, highlights, all that kind of thing. And they're using their live feed to show people how they can expect to have their hair treated. So it's introducing either the team, here's the team who's going to do your hair for you, or some of the customers they're working with who are going to show you how they're able to share how they got their hair done. You can share your expertise. For example, you can host a live class, and this is a really popular way to use both Instagram and Facebook Live. You can host a live class, you can host a tutorial. This very presentation I'm doing now could just as easily be hosted on Instagram or Facebook. It's just probably not made for the vertical video of Instagram, and Instagram really is a vertical platform. But as you've noticed on Facebook, if you've ever seen the live video on Facebook, so when you go to your Facebook page or your Facebook profile, and you can look at different ways, or using Creator Studio, which is really my favorite way to go live on Facebook, you can do something a bit more oriented to people who are not necessarily on phones. So in this case, we're looking at Instagram. It's all very vertical, all very mobile operated. But when you're looking at Facebook, you've got the opportunity to go to Creator Studio. Now, if you've never been there before, just Google Creator Studio Facebook, and you'll be able to see how that works. And from there, you can do amazing things with posts. You can post Facebook stories, and you can design them right there on the page. You can design posts on Facebook and Instagram feed, and design them and upload them and play around with them and add different interactive features to them right there on the page. But you can also go live from Creator Studio on Facebook. In fact, it's the best way to do it because it allows you to add all sorts of different features to it. You can go through different other third-party services. Now, one of the ways that I like to go live on Facebook is to use the app called StreamYard. StreamYard's a free app that you can use that allows you to be able to connect through to not just Facebook Live. You can go through StreamYard and stream out to Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube, maybe even Twitch, if you've got the right connections to be going through there. And it allows you all at once to go out to multiple platforms. Now, the only problem you get with that is you're not in a position to interact live with your viewers. You can't do all those interactive things, answering questions, responding to things that are being said in the feed whilst you're on a third-party platform. You do really need to be in Instagram if you're doing an Instagram live, or Facebook if you're on Facebook live, because then you've got all the features right there at your fingertips. You're able to see exactly what's going through, what the conversations are, respond to how people are reacting. For instance, the love heart emojis and the thumbs up and all those kind of different reactions they're giving. You're able to do that so much more completely when you're doing it from inside Facebook or Instagram. Now, Creator Studio does allow you to do that. But once you go to something like StreamYard, you're a little bit more, I guess, restricted from what you're able to do. One of the things that's very, very good to do with Instagram and Facebook Live is the sharing of your new products or services. If you're using Facebook Shopping, for example, where you've got your shop on Facebook, or you've got taggable products on Instagram, then you're able to actually add those in and pin them into your live video. Particularly on Instagram, this is really powerful because Instagram is a platform where people love to shop. We often go there for inspiration. We see something we like, we want to tap on it, see what it is, how much it is, and where to buy it. So in the case of the example on screen, you've got from Hair Day, the DIY hair color kit, or the hair hydrating oil or thickening hair shampoo. That is how that may work for you. Now, a further way of thinking of this is often your Facebook audience will be very different to your Instagram audience, right? And then this happens, we're talking about a very international audience often on Instagram, where your audience on Facebook may be a lot closer to home, a lot more local. And this is the case, then you've got the chance to really reach a very, very broad audience on something like Instagram. So the examples I'm showing on screen about Instagram, very, very handy for if you're trying to sell lots and lots of units of a particular kind of product, but like the DIY hair color kits and the oils and the shampoos that we're showing on the screen at the moment. Now, Instagram Live offers a number of features to help making going live an interactive and fun experience for you, but also a really interactive and fun experience for the people who are viewing you. Now, while that's also Instagram Live, so many of these features are available in Facebook Live as well. They allow you to be able to go forth and add all these same features. In fact, Instagram Live has been around a bit longer than Facebook Live has been around a bit longer than Instagram Live. I have to get that right way around, because the live video revolution really started with platforms like Periscope, and before that Meerkat, back in, oh gosh, it must be about 2010 or 12 or something. And now it's matured to be an everyday part of a lot of businesses' lives. For me, it's something that I do most mornings. I've even got a Facebook portal device that sits in my kitchen, and I often have thoughts about digital marketing, what my day is going to be with my audience from my kitchen. To make your live session a success, let's look at some of the features to help you creatively engage with your audiences. And bear in mind, if you are asking questions, I know there's a lot of people who are live right now on Zoom, and not the people who are watching later on through YouTube. I can't actually see your questions until the end of when we do this. So once we get to the end, please save those questions up or write them down. I will get to see them, but it won't be until the end, because I've only got the one desktop window, and Microsoft PowerPoint is a terrible piece of software. It doesn't let you see multiple things on a screen at once. So for a successful session before you start, before you can go live, tap the wheel icon on Instagram or go to Creator Studio on Facebook. On Instagram, it's the top left-hand corner, and that determines who can view your live broadcast. So this is where you can say, I want to make it go like to certain people, only to the people who follow me, to everybody who's capable of seeing it, or I just want it to a private group of people. Now, you may have a very, very small circle of very special clients that you give access to your live videos to. This is where you allow yourself to do this. You can set different statuses for different kinds of people. And on Facebook, it could be privacy settings such as, I want to say it to my closest, I want to send it to a specific group of people. Or if you're going live in a group, you can actually make it so that only the people in the group, because it's a private group, can actually see that live video. It also determines who can reply to you, so who can start to do comments, and where that video is going to save, and how it can be shared as well. Now, when you get into this live video, if you're all prepared, you're all ready, you've done your hair and you've done your makeup and you're ready to go, now it's time to welcome people in and make people feel welcome. It helps you to fill a few minutes as you're getting sort of getting ready, because that notification, it takes a little while to get out there. It does go straight out to people, but it can take people a few minutes to actually notice it's happening. Not everyone's going to receive it as a pop-up notification on their phone, but if they're in Facebook or Instagram, they will receive that notification if they follow you and they've chosen not to opt out of getting your notifications, which is going to be most of your followers. So you can pin an introductory comment at the top of both Facebook and Instagram Live. So you can see in the Instagram Live version on screen right now that the woman in the video has pinned a welcome message. And that means that anyone jumping in can quickly read that if there's any rules or know what it's all about without them having to watch endlessly while people are being welcomed in or anything like that. And that's also really handy for people who are joining in a little bit later in the broadcast. So they might not have come in from the very first moment. They're joining a little bit later. Now, as you make people feel welcome coming in, they'll be able to then see that welcome message. And you'll want to then, of course, keep them engaged throughout the session. So the one way you can do this to really get people to feel welcomed and feel like they're part of a community is to acknowledge the comments and answer the questions that are coming up throughout the session. Now, this is not always possible when you've got literally the speed of light, hundreds and thousands of comments coming in if you've got hundreds and thousands of people following you. For instance, Lalo Beauty on the screen has 1,324 people currently watching them on Instagram Live. It's not possible for all of those comments that are popping through to be answered at every moment. But as the presenter is able to see those comments come out, like Minju is asking, what color are you using? She may be able to pop up and go, oh, I'm using the frosted beige or the Savannah gold, whatever the color happens to be that she happens to be using. And this goes with Facebook Live as well. It's a lot easier to keep up with them if you're on a laptop computer. I'll give you that little bit of a tip. Well, you can't do that so much on Instagram. You can at least sort of go and do the live thing from Instagram. And here's a tip. It's not an official Facebook and Instagram tip, but if you go into Instagram on the desktop version and you have it rendering on your desktop as mobile, you can actually go live as a mobile screen from your screen on your laptop computer. So if you're not sure what I mean, you can actually go in there. Google Chrome gives you the option to be able to view a screen on the non-mobile web, so on the desktop computer, to view as a mobile device. And when you do that, it tells Instagram that, oh, okay, this is a mobile device. We can go live as one of the options. So you do things like record and put in and load up Instagram Reels, which you can't do normally through the desktop, and be able to go live as well. Creator Studio on Facebook will give you a lot of these options as well. It allows you to be able to go live on different places to different audiences. And every month there seems to be like new things that Creator Studio and Business Suite are rolling out to allow you to do more and more of these things. As a little side thing too, quite often people complain they wish they could use a desktop piece of software within Facebook to be able to create and edit and then schedule Instagram stories. Up until now, we've only been able to do Instagram feed, Facebook feed, and Facebook stories, but not Instagram stories. Just in the last month, we've had the option to do this with Instagram stories pop up within Business Suite as well. So that's a little bit of a side thing. You may want to go and try that. It will help to open up some of your more creative parts of Instagram, like stories, very, very creative area of Instagram, to the option of doing that on the desktop, and also the option for you to create, say, great graphics and videos in Canva and load them up during Business Suite to then go out to Instagram stories. But back to our Instagram and Facebook Live, your comments from the audience are going to appear at the bottom. So you're able to then read through those, and then you can respond to them either live as you're chatting with your voice, or you can put a comment in yourself to answer them in text. Although I wouldn't really recommend that, because ultimately you want your camera to sit still, particularly if you're doing things like tutorials and demonstrations. Now, when you want to go live, you can either invite one other person to join your broadcast. And this is where you can then, and this is getting bigger and bigger all the time, where you're starting to be able to add more and more people. So Instagram only at the moment, you can have one other person to join you. So you can have lots of people being on screen, or actually watching you, but have a co-host of sorts, and enables you to both be on the screen and have a conversation. So I would say consider inviting other people in your industry and your team members, maybe, or people who you've done work with before, to have a chat with you. An interview style live video can be so much more interesting than one person's voice, like mine, for instance, droning on and on and on, and it feels like nothing's getting anywhere. Now, in here too, we have a bunch of responses that people have given, such as, what is your skincare routine? Do you regularly do facials? And you can show a response to that and share it with your viewers. So as people have been asking questions along the way, on Instagram, at least, you can tap one of these and it will add to like one of the featured questions you're going to answer live as you're answering questions during your live video. Now, when you go live, you can, yes, invite that other person, which I think is really a lot of fun, because it gives you the chance to be able to do that interview style, or compare techniques, or have a little competition, or just have a little bit of banter between you all. It can be so much more interesting to watch a second person on there with you than just one person doing all of it. Now, you may want to share some of your own photos or your own videos during your live video. And this is a really fun way to, I guess, share some of the work that you've done, share some of the techniques you're describing in pre-recorded videos, or you may want to simply just show people that you've done testimonials, or an example of a website. If you're using a desktop to broadcast live on Facebook, this can be a really good way for you to, for instance, show your working live on a laptop in a piece of software, or in Canva if you're going to design something, or in some cases where I'll do a live presentation of writing a blog post where I'm teaching people how to do that, very much there in the room with them, very, very live on screen. So if you're on iOS, in the case of Instagram though, you'll tap the image icon on the right side of the screen. You see it there. And when you add a photo or video from your camera roll, your video live stream will move to the top right corner of the screen. Note that you can only see the photos and videos in your camera roll while you're sharing a live video. So you can't go and search for other places like Google Drive, Google Photos, Apple Photos, your iCloud photo directory. It's only what's on your camera roll that you've taken photos of or screenshots of lately. So you may want to prepare yourself to make sure that your videos you want to do are in the camera roll, ready to be easily added, and that any things like screenshots and that may need to be pre-added and screenshot just before you go live, so they're easy to get to in that camera roll in the tray. Now, raise money during your live stream is really possible too, and this is a really popular way of people using their influence to be able to show others what it is they do, and also show the things that they care about and the things that they want to give support for. So raising money during your live stream is done by adding a donate button. So the donate button you see down the bottom for the ACLU in this case, or it could be for the RSPCA or your local dog shelter, or one of the other really important fundraisers you want to go to. And once you begin your live broadcast, you can actually see how many people are supporting that fundraiser and the amount of money you're raising in real time. Some really popular influencers do not go live until they've chosen a charity that they want to support, and they'll often sort of ask charities for their support, and going, hey, I'm going to do a live video. This is a great chance for you to share the fact that I'm doing this live video, because I'm going to raise funds for that. So it could be the local Red Cross, it could be the local dog shelter, it could be national charities like, for instance, St. Vincent's de Paul's, or if there's a particular Salvation Army fundraiser at the time, or whatever the charities are that are listed in Australia, you can then connect them through to your Instagram Live, but also to your Facebook Live, and add a little bit of an extra spice to it, I suppose, where whilst you have an audience, you might have influence, it's great to be able to share that love with people who do need that money as well. And people are really using these fundraising platforms on Facebook and Instagram to do some real good in the world. In fact, over $1 billion has been shared through Facebook's fundraising platforms, and they do not take a cut of that. That goes directly to the charities that are involved in there. So it's definitely a worthwhile thing to consider. As we gaze upon this handsome man, we'll plan ahead to prepare an engaging and interactive live session with your community. So before you go live, consider a few of these tips that I'm about to show you to make sure that your live succession really does go well. So an example we've got here is Hair Day. They're a salon that specializes in haircuts and color. And this is applicable not just to Instagram, but to Facebook as well. They have a very engaged client base and a team of really creative stylists who absolutely love sharing videos of their work on Instagram. And I love it when hair salons, makeup artists, and people who work in creative fields are able to show off what it is they do. So to a hungry audience out there that, especially in these really rough times, doesn't really get to see much happy news. Everything seems to be bad news at the moment. Although tonight, I guess we're waiting for the final confirmation of Brisbane being awarded the 2032 Olympic Games. So that's looking like it's going to be a really fun thing that's coming up, a little bit of light in the darkness. And I think our creative people, our artists, our hairstylists, our makeup artists, and those who are painting, potting, and doing all sorts of live performances on things like Facebook and Instagram Live are really adding some color to what for a lot of people is a very dark and depressing time. So Priya, who's the owner of Hair Day, she wants to find a few ways to connect with her salon's community and start showcasing, I guess, more videos from her salon stylists. They've already agreed they want to take part. Now she wants a way of being able to do that. So she decides to go live, first of all, on Hair Day's Instagram account, because she seems to have quite a big national and international following, because she wants to connect with followers in real time. So let's have a look at how Priya can host a successful live broadcast. So to stay connected with your followers, it's worth creating a plan to go live regularly. Going live once and then never doing it again is kind of pointless. You really don't build up a following or build up an expectation in your audience unless you give them something to look forward to more often. So when determining your plan, have a bit of a think about the date, the time, and the duration of your live video. Now, pick a time when your audience is most likely to see you going live. So there's no point you picking a time when everyone's going to be asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. You pick a time when the majority of your audience are likely to be awake and able to see it. So the idea here is that Priya is going to decide to go live on Wednesday at 5 p.m. for 45 minutes. She polled her followers and learned that most of them are going to be online around then. Or she's looked at her insights and can see that that's generally a good time for her. Then give yourself a goal. And that goal can be anything you like. It could be a goal to jumpstart the sales of her new hair kits. In your case, it might be a goal to increase engagement and comments and followers, or it could be just to get a little bit more brand awareness, for more people to know who you are and what your offering is, what the things are that you're able to offer them that maybe your competitors can't. So what do you want to achieve from going live? You establish a goal like, engagement or increasing sales, or planning out that content of your live session around that goal is going to make it so much easier for you to stay on track. Because when you go live on something, it's so easy when you don't have a plan to go completely derailed. So for instance, I'm on a live presentation tonight on Zoom through the ASBAS Digital Solutions Program. Now, that could easily go off track if I didn't have a plan of certain slides that I have to follow to get the information across that I want to get across. I love to waffle. I love to go off on tangents, but that would not be helpful to anyone who's watching this. So Priya's goal for going live is to increase sales. So she decides to launch her new hair color kit during this particular live video. Now you think of a theme. What are you going to do in terms of a theme? What are you going to talk about in that live session? You can start your live session prepared with a bunch of talking points. Then put down, I need to cover off these 3 main points before the end of this session so that everyone learns about what it is I want to put out there. So that theme could be that I want to, first of all, acknowledge some great things that happened during the week. You want to show some gratitude, perhaps. You may want to go on there and say, this is some challenges that we've been going through in the business this week that we've been working on. And what I'd like to do now is introduce you to a new product or a new service that we're now doing. This gives you a theme to follow that keeps you on track. So whilst my theme in this particular live webinar that I'm doing is determined by the slides that Facebook have given me to represent, your theme could be almost anything. It'll come down to basically what it is you need to achieve and how you want to get there. People feel good about a story. People feel good about a narrative that takes them from not knowing anything about what you're doing, coming through to the end of getting some outcome they feel that they can walk away and action in their own businesses. Or if your audience is a consumer, then breaking down your theme into stories that tell something that they can relate to. Say, for instance, in the case of Hair Day, they might be doing a demonstration using the hair color kits and offering a discount code to the audience at the end. That theme would then be broken down into lots of different points. They might start with announcing the launch of hair color kits. They might move then to doing that live demonstration we were talking about with the hair color kit. And finally, at the end, sharing a discount code for people to get 10, 20, I don't know, 25% off at the end of the session for that particular hair color kit. So that then gets you really, really well prepared. You've got your date, you've got your time, you know how long you're going to run for, so you can set your timer over there or watch the clock up on the wall. You know what your goal is. If your goal is to jumpstart sales, then you're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking to people about how much they can engage with you. Rather, you can talk to people how easy it is to make that purchase. If your theme is to introduce something that's new, like a product or a service, or it is to have a general chat so that people can get used to your point of view, then you move on to your breakdown. And actually, it's almost like a script, but it's not scripted. It's more like a guide. So by 7:10 p.m., I will have announced the launch of my hair color kits. By 7:30 p.m., I will be doing a live demonstration with the hair color kit. And by 7:55 p.m., then I'm finally sharing a discount code at the end of the session. Then finally, in your plan, you're going to have an engagement plan. Who do you want to reach and how do you want to connect with them? This is where you decide where it is you're going to go as far as the people that you want to serve, the people who you want to put a message out to, the people who you really, really want to reach. How do you want to connect with them? Do they get connected through, by just jumping in because you've started broadcasting? Or how will you make it so they know that your live broadcast has come up? You may even start up an event on Facebook that has the link to the live video pre-planned. Now, Priya, in this case, is going to take questions before the broadcast and then engage with comments during the session, because you've got answering questions that she's taken beforehand, which are frequently asked questions, but she's also decided she's going to answer questions during the session as well. So thinking about these questions can really help you to organize your goals and organize your content, whether those are the things in the screen shares you want to do, the screenshots, the photos or the videos you want to play. It helps you get that stuff together before you go live, because the last thing you want to do is go live to a mess of no one being able to understand what it is you're trying to put across. Now, promoting your live video is all about inviting your community to join you to that video, but promoting it live before the session goes live. There's a few ways you can promote. You can create a post on Instagram or Facebook that links through the fact that you're doing this kind of thing. And Facebook is creating a event, for example. So creating posts to let people know about your upcoming broadcast, it just helps people to understand, oh, this is something that I might want to see. Priya, for example, plans to promote a live session by making a feed post that says she's going to go live on Thursday. You can also increase excitement around the event by sharing information about it in your Instagram and Facebook stories. Instagram particularly is very strong in stories. So for example, Priya uses the countdown sticker in stories to share that this is happening in a certain amount of hours and minutes, and shares a few emojis in there too. Join us for a happy hour later today. Happy hours are really popular with coaches, really popular with people who want to share their expertise, because it gives them a specific time and place during a week to have a moment that they can share with their followers and to have a bit of a relax and do a little bit of a show. Very similar things happen on Clubhouse, for instance, in just the audio sphere. So to be able to promote this in stories gives you a chance to let people know that this thing is coming. Hang around. You can also update your profile with information about your live session. So on Instagram, on Facebook, you don't really need to, because you can do this through posts, or you can do it through live events that you promote through the events part of Facebook. But on Instagram, you can actually update it in as part of your bio. They've got a hair and beauty salon specializing in edgy colors, but they're also saying, join our live session this Wednesday. And they may have more information for it on their website, where they've got that link saying, you know, what time on Wednesday it is, how you can join, where the link may be, etc., etc. And you can use the Q&A sticker as well in your stories to ask your followers for questions before you go live. Now, this will work very much in Instagram, not so much in Facebook, because we don't have the amount of stickers in Facebook stories that we do in Instagram. But the same thing can be asked. You could just have a post on Facebook which asks these questions. You can run a poll if you want to get some information, such as people want less natural colors and more wild out there colors. Or you could ask the very specific feedback. You can point people to a form on your website if you like. On Instagram, because you've got these abilities to collect this information and see the answers in your profile, then you'll be able to see what those responses actually are. To me, this is an ideal way to get content for your live session. So prepare accordingly. You can prepare and do a bit of rehearsal. I find that rehearsing at least my opening couple of minutes really helps me to make for a better live video. So if I can look at what the things are I want to do, practice bringing them to screen, just run through those first couple of minutes, it really helps me to feel prepared going in, because everything else kind of takes on a life of its own. Remember, it's live video, so anything could happen. Any questions could happen. Any comments could happen. I guess the rush and the adrenaline of going live is going to make it so you really, really want to sort of go off on a world of your own, but still stay within your plan. But if you, long as you plan and rehearse those first few bits, it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to get started. What you want to also do is set up things like the lighting and the audio. So what I do before every one of my lives, I've got a ring light in front of me now for when I get to the video, so you can see what I look like. I've got my audio, my microphone set up right in front of me, so I know it's not going to get lots of background noise. I also know that the microphone is going to be set up through a piece of software I called Crisp, with KRISP, which means that you know, my family can be in the next room making all the noise they want, or watching television, or cooking, or banging and crashing, and none of that's going to come through on this microphone. You can't hear. It's actually quite noisy next door, and you can't hear any of that because my microphone has been set up to be able to make that all go away. So setting up your lights and your audio and making sure they're working is going to make it so much easier for you to have a nice, smooth, calm live video experience. Now, if you're inviting someone to join you there, prep them, prep your guest. Make sure that your guest is ready and you're prepared with a few topics to discuss. I get invited onto a lot of lives, a lot of interviews, so often to radio stations and such. And I like to be able to ask them, like, okay, what it is you're going to ask me, just so I can prepare a really good answer. I want to make it a good experience for your listeners and make me not look like an idiot who doesn't know the answer to things. I was on a live video a bit earlier today about customer relationship management systems. And I was talking specifically about the one I use, which is HubSpot, and what it's able to do and how it's able to be used. Now, almost all the questions are very frequently asked questions, so I was able to answer those right off the bat. But there was one which didn't really make a lot of sense to me, and I didn't really know the answer to it. So I could go off and Google it at the time, but I thought, you know what, let's park that one for now, and I'll try and find an answer for that one later. So by prepping your guest, prepping yourself, knowing what questions are going to be asked. You're giving everyone a chance to understand what their expectations are coming into your live video. Now, before going live, test your internet connection. I get this problem all the time because I'm on the road a lot. At home, I've got gigabit, 1,000 megabit download and upload at home. It's amazing. And look, it never goes problem. It's never a problem. It's got excellent capabilities. But when I'm on the road, I'm using other people's internet. I might be using a hotel's internet or a cafe's internet, or hotspotting to one of my mobiles. And not all the time that you be inside places, you're going to have perfect reception. For instance, here at my parents' house in the Gold Coast in Queensland, I have incredibly good reception of Telstra, but not such incredibly good reception of Vodafone in the front of the house. But then I go out to the back of the house, and then I've got the complete opposite problem. Vodafone's great, Telstra's terrible, and so I need to sort of place myself and use the technology that's going to work really best for me. So please do, anytime you go live with absolutely anything, test your internet connection. And I would say finally, always go in with a backup plan. Just know that things can and will go wrong. So if you've got a ring light, if that thing blows and falls over and you can't really get up and move and get around and fix it, have a desk lamp in front of you that you can suddenly switch on. Have a backup computer even. I've got 2 computers in front of me right now, one which I'm using to read my notes and the other one to present to you the slides that are on screen. That was part of my preparation, to know that I can't have my multiple 3-screen setup that I usually have at home. So I need to have something that allows me to keep reading my notes and knowing where I'm at as part of my plan. Your backup plan could be a spare microphone. It could be a spare hotspot connection. But if I suddenly lose my connection here at this house, I can then jump over to one of my hotspots and continue on as quick as possible. Now we've gone over what you need to do to prepare for your live broadcast. This is how we go over how to start the session. So a live broadcast on Instagram specifically, it's a bit different for oh my goodness, Facebook. I just blanked out then. Haven't had my dinner yet, so I'm probably starting to get a little blood sugar. That's my excuse, at least, for being ditzy. To start a live broadcast, you double click if you're on iOS to tap the plus icon. From pretty much on the top right of your screen. See that one there? Yep. And you can also swipe right from anywhere in the feed to open the stories camera. So if you swipe over to the right, it opens up a pane to your left, which contains the stories camera, where you can start that almost straight away. Then scroll to the live button at the bottom of the screen to start the video. So there it is right there. You can see it. And that gives you a bit of a countdown. So when you're ready to go live, you'll then get a countdown to say, we're now ready to go live. Now, throughout your live session, keep track of the comments and the reactions that keep coming in, and acknowledge them as you read them. If something comes in, is that a new face mask? Yeah, Minsu, that is the new face mask. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? It feels so smooth. My skin feels amazing after that. And seeing the likes and the comments saying, I'm so glad you guys are loving this new face mask. If you want to know what's in it, I can just bring up these information about what the ingredients are, so you can see why exactly it feels like it's amazing, because it's full of all of nature's best possible stuff. So to start the live broadcast, tap the icon, start the live session, and then engage with people in full time. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that people are being engaged with. That's the whole point of joining a live broadcast. But you also want to make sure that your session is in what we call a safe space. So before you start, make sure you're safe. You're thinking about safety and making this as welcoming a space as you possibly can by, in Instagram's case, using the Instagram comment filter. In Facebook's case, putting on the bad words filter through the Creative Studio before you go in there. So go into your settings to hide offensive words or language before your broadcast begins by going into profile and tapping the 3 lines, or the hamburger menu as I like to call it, at the top. It'll bring up then this menu, and this menu then will show you to go to settings. So tap settings, and that will take you into privacy. Then tap comments, and then toggle the comments bit there. Yep. and then toggle the hide offensive comments. If that's turned off, turn that on. I think that's a really wise thing to have going anyway, because you don't ever really want to have those bad comments coming through and people being abused or really horrible things being said to people. So you can turn that on and the AI system will automatically hide things that it can see are really hopelessly negative or really abusive. So that filters out comments that contact, that have specific words or phrases, and you can toggle the manual filter on or off and type in specific words or phrases that you know that will come up that you want to filter out as well. There's some very Aussie things that are very insulting. There's some very American things that are very insulting. You can choose what those are, or just automatically hide the things that Facebook and Instagram's AI can pick up that are not really the right thing to have. Then if you want to ensure your session is in a safe space, so we're doing that. Yep, got that. Manual filter. Now what you want to do is make the most of the content you've got to go live with. So you might be wondering, once I'm live, what do I do? Well, here's a few ways to help you to make, I guess, the most of that content you're going to run. Now, once your live broadcast ends, you're going to have the option to download your video to your phone or share it on your IGTV channel. In Facebook, it will automatically go to your videos tab on your page or on your profile, where you can then add different things to it. You can edit that video, you can cut bits off the beginning of it, you can download it and play with it in Adobe Premiere or any of those video. I use a thing called Flixia, which is an online editor that I pay for that's really quick and really fast to do these things. And you can share it with things like YouTube, Facebook, anywhere where you can put video. You might want to take clips from it and actually put it out on things like TikTok or Instagram Reels. Just be careful though, when you do go and share these videos with other people, that you respect the privacy of the people who are in the video and respect the privacy of the people who are commenting in the video, because they may not want their comments known to the world. So when you share that, either let people know up front that you will be doing something like sharing their comments at some point, or say just don't do that at all and just save it within the Instagram platform that then is inheriting the privacy settings that are in that profile, your business page, and their own privacy settings they've got. So when your session is over, tap download video, and you can save it to your camera roll and pretty much do whatever you really want to do with it, just within reason, of course. Now, once you've saved that live video, you can repurpose it to make the most of your content in quite a few ways. And this goes with Facebook and Instagram as well. You can really use that video to make sure it does the best possible thing it does. And it's no use just doing this live video and it's over and done. Use it to do as many things as you possibly can to stretch it to go that little bit further. So some of the ways you can do it, you can share it to IGTV, which is the long format video, kind of like YouTube that's within Instagram. You can also edit your video to make stories, which I think is a really clever use of it, making stories or feed posts or ads for Facebook and Instagram. There's a lot of video editing apps in the App Store and Google Play that can really help you to create those shorter clips. So I think one of them that was mentioned the other day, well, Canva will do it, that's for sure. Other ones like, someone mentioned this just yesterday, and it was such a good little one called, completely lost it. It's owned by the GoPro GoPro camera people. Quick, QUIK is what it's called. That's a really good, and it's free, and it's got lots of really, really funky, high energetic and fun filters and effects that make your videos feel that much more interesting. We use something like, for instance, Mojo, MOJO, which will help you to add things like text and effect overlays and frames if you want to make that as well. So after a successful live session, Priya, our friend from the hair place, may want to save the video and edit it to clips to share on her feed and her stories, so she can take the best parts of that video and use it to promote her products. You can also track engagement over the posts you've repurposed. So to help plan for your next session, this is a really smart way of doing it. You say the best bits of this particular live video I've created, I've turned into some stories and videos and some posts. Then I can go, okay, what are the parts that I've taken out and turned into other content that have gone really, really well? In this case, we can see this particular post, which took elements from the live video, had 39 profile visits, 304 product views, reached 841 people just this post. So you can go, the content in this post was interesting enough that I might actually bring more content like this into my live videos later on. So to close, here's a few really good key takeaways that you can sort of use from today's session that help you to make better live video. And I will open up for some questions very shortly. So connect in real time with audience over Instagram and Facebook Live. You can go live regularly to help really stay connected to your audience and to introduce things like new products, new services, and bring your community together and share expertise. And don't forget, you can raise money for fundraisers in there too. And make the most of your live sessions by planning ahead, making sure you got a plan to do something really special in them. Just going live and just winging it is not fun. It's not enjoyable for people, and it makes you sound really stilted and like you don't know what you're talking about. But if you do some preparation up front, you've got everything ready out there. You can create a story that has a good beginning, some great stuff in the middle, and a really solid ending as well. You can learn more about going live on Facebook and Instagram through Facebook's own learning platform, Facebook Blueprint. You can go to facebook.com/blueprint, and it's got lots of interactive lessons that help you to better understand the platform so you can get the most out of what you're doing. Now, quickly, I wanted to share some of my experiences as a user myself of Facebook and Instagram live video. My personal favorite way to go live on Facebook is to do it directly from a Facebook portal. That's one of the Facebook devices that you can place in your house, like a Google Home with a screen. Mine was kind of like this tall thing with a swivel screen on it, and it's got a camera that actually follows you around. This is what I like. I can do it from my kitchen as I'm making my breakfast and making my coffee and having a chat, getting ready for my day. And as I go for the fridge to the toaster, to the toaster oven, to the sink, the camera actually follows me around. It follows me to always keep me at the center of that video, which I think is really clever. And that movement helps make a more dynamic video as well. So for me, that's a really good option for it. If you're someone who prefers to sit down and be comfortable in one spot where you've got your plan, you've got everything laid out exactly the way you need it to be, like in the perfect positions, well, then you might find it easier to use your laptop rather than your mobile phone. Using things like tripods can be really helpful for keeping things stable. Using your laptop, I'd avoid doing things like banging your, if you're really passionate about something, banging your desk is going to shake it all and give people a bit of seasickness in the video. But these are all really great tips. I've found I get a much greater audience on Instagram Live than what I do on Facebook Live. Now, the few times I've done it as a StreamYard stream, which is one of my better ways of getting out to multiple audiences, is it always helps if I'm watching my own videos silently through Facebook and watching my own video on another phone silently through Instagram, then controlling my video and my output through StreamYard or there's tons of other platforms that will do it. StreamYard's just great because it has a free service on it. It has some watermarking on it, but so many people are using this now to really refine and make much more smooth their live video experience to more than one platform. And that's one of the ways I really like to use it. Now, I'm just going to end this show and bring up my photo again. There's a few people who've joined us here who may have a few questions. So if you've got some questions about Facebook Live, Instagram Live, feel free to ask those right now. If not, it's okay too. You can get in contact with me through my email address, which is Dante, D-A-N-T-E, @clickstarter.com.au, and we can have a chat about how you prefer to go live. And I invite you to just give it a go. You can also do a practice live on Facebook. So if you decide to go live, you can make the audience just you. So you record it to a video that only you can see. So you can play it back, do it for a couple of minutes, play it back, and then see what your camera's like, see what your lighting's like, see what your audio's like to make sure everything's working the right way. And then you've got this opportunity to make sure that you're not going in unprepared. When most mistakes are made with live video, it's because no one got prepared for it. So have fun with it. Great plan ahead. Make sure you've got a great way to come in and a great way to go out, and you'll never go wrong. Thank you so much again for taking so much time out of your business to work on your business. I really think it's important to take these times to do this. And if you would like to join us for any more of these great sessions, we've got until the 30th of July, until the end of the program. But just a secret squirrel for you, if you're not part of the new program going forward, the Digital Solutions Program, you can still join these free webinars and watch them through Eventbrite. So if you look out for Business Station on Eventbrite, we've got a whole bunch of these events now starting to show up, already booked ahead. I've got some really like 4 really big 2-hour workshops I'm going to be doing live that only people in the East Coast have had the chance to do. I'm going to be bringing that to everybody across Australia soon. And also there's I'm doing 2 extra webinars every week as well, which will be free to you. So whether you can't go forward with a new program or you can, you won't have to miss out on this great content in webinars and online workshops. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a quick dinner and get ready for my next call. Seems really late to be doing client calls, but hey, it's the life of a small business owner. You'd know it only too well. Thank you. And I hope to see you in the next